Hey guys, Greg from Tales from the Pythian, and welcome back to another video of prepping VTT games. This week we're back in Phandalin and Below the Shattered Obelisk. We were here a few weeks ago prepping the Cragmaw Hideout, which we see on the screen here. The players did complete it over here. They are, and so how did it run? It ran well. They did fine. They circumvented all of the traps. So you remember we had the water trap here, where the goblin that was on the bridge could signal to the goblins back over by the pool to release the water. They completely circumvented that. The rogue snuck up on the bridge, assassinated the goblin, chucked them over. They all climbed up, proceeded to go to the right, took care of everything on this side first, and then came back across the bridge, so avoiding the snake and the potential falling rock trap. Came up here, took care of business, and rescued Sildar Hallwinter, and that's where we stopped. So all that stuff. Well, not really. There's not a lot, right? But you know, two pretty cool things that we build to kind of, you know, put a hitch in the giddy up of our players, and you know they didn't even stumble across them. So where do they go from here? They go to Phandalin to try to get some more answers about Gundar Rockseeker, to deliver the wagon, one, and then yeah, see what else it brings them. So of course, chapter 2, you guys that are game masters may or may not know, that is basically the town of Phandalin and the Redbrand Hideout. So you kind of spend the time in the town with your players, moving around, getting bits of clues for adventures that will take place after the Redbrand. Of course, we never know how players are going to behave, so the way I'm going to roll with it is I'm going to prepare the town in its entirety, and then if I get a surprise sprung on me by my players, I'm going to rely on the bailiwiki assets that I have to, you know, be able to generate quick maps should I have to, but I'm going to spend the majority of my time in the town. So speaking of those bailiwiki assets, I do use, I am a patron of bailiwikis. So I am using their town map, which was loosely based on Phandalin. So this is an overview map that the players will have access to. I'm currently up in the air on how I want to handle the map itself. So the way that the tiles, all these tiles that look like houses, the way they're set up, they're on proximity teleports. So if a token is within a certain distance and clicks on the tile, it teleports to that particular map. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 different maps, plus one underground map. And what I mean by underground is it's all the basements and everything like that for different buildings all in one map that players can go between. So it's pretty cool that we have an actual town that's all interconnected. So there's a lot to do here. And it's also very challenging to flesh that out so that it feels alive. So that's what we'll be working on over the next 2 weeks. So we're going to have today's video where we're just going to kind of go over the high level of what we're going to do. And then next week, we're going to go a little bit into the weeds of how we're going to do it, right? So as an example to that, one of the things that I intend to do is I intend to take these ruins, which is meant to be the Redbrand Hideout, and it's cool. You know, these were earlier maps by bailiwiki, so please do not judge this map as a reflection of their current content, because their current content is outstanding. But we're going to replace it with this map from the Dungeon Alchemist. This is the same gentleman whose map I used last time, that I had told you guys I had subscribed to, and it's awesome. So was experimenting here. I had already brought it in. I was experimenting with whether I wanted to use the WebM or the still image, and let's just do that. Let's check that out real quick. So we'll go to the configure tab here, and let's just swap to the JPEG for a moment and see what that difference looks like. You know, obviously you're not going to have all of the water moving and that sort of thing, but I don't really care about that. I'm more interested in, does it stutter, all this sort of thing. So if you missed my previous explanation of maps that come from Dungeon Alchemist and you bring them into Foundry, basically you export it, and when you do, it exports a JSON file. I haven't brought the JSON file in yet, so you can see if I go to the walls, there's no walls. If I go to the lights, there's no lights. So what we'll do is we'll import that data right now. So we'll choose the file. We're going to go to the Foundry data. So let's see, maps, battle maps, Lost Mines of Phandalin. Here's Redbrand Hideout. Let's just open that up and import it. There we go. It's very interesting. It drops the image off there. Let's put the image back on. JPEG, select the file, save the changes. There we go. Now we have our lights all on. We have our walls and our doors all in. So problem solved there. Very handy. So what are some other considerations that we're going to have to make for this map? So this is a trap that that takes place. I think this is like R3 is the name of the space, but the map maker designed it in such a way to show it open. So I have to overcome this. So I have to figure out a way to overcome this. So that'll be something I work out on how to do prior to the next video, and then we'll go through it. I intend to go through each of these rooms. I'll read them in their entirety. I'll list out everything that needs to be done to make them match as closely as possible the module, right? So secret doors, we'll be using perceptive for those likely. Any kind of crazy traps or investigative things will likely be, there'll be some Lux tiles work in there, especially for like this type of a trap. We'll get all the NPCs in there. Of course, the NPCs are going to be not rules as written, because I have a 3rd level party, so I need to elevate them a little bit. I mean, name wise, sure, it'll be Glassstaff and that sort of thing, but some of the Redbrand bandits will likely be a little bit different in their stat blocks. The Nothic might be a little bit different in his stat block, these sort of things. And then we'll sprinkle all the treasures around using item piles and things like that. So that is where we're headed with Redbrand Hideout. Back to the town itself, the overall town map itself. So again, I want to make this is going to be the hub for a long time. So I want to invest the time into the town to make it kind of feel alive, right? So let's go to this Barthen's Provisions. Let's see, that is going to be, here we go, 05. All right, so I've already done work in here and have things set up. So I have the players coming into town. Up here, I made some adjustments on this map to make it a little bit more fluid for how I wanted it to be. This particular building, I currently am not using it for anything. I'm leaving it as a vacant building that I can use should something happen later. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it comes up for sale. Maybe there's an NPC that we have to create because of how the players take the story. Those sorts of things. Then this building to the north, this is Reeves Cheese and Baked Goods, right? So if we go in here and we have Julio Reeve, we double click on him, it literally is a bake shop. And what I did was I made these all rations, but I went to the Forgotten Realms wiki and I went and just kind of searched through for different breads and cheeses and, brought their description in, gave them a price based on their rarity, and kind of put them into this shop. And the idea here again is just, is it overkill? Probably a little bit overkill, but I want it to feel, alive. And then we use the functionality inside of item piles when you create a merchant to dictate what time and day that that shopkeeper is open. Is essentially what's going on here. So let's see if we can show that. So here under other settings, we scroll down to the bottom, we have the opening time, the closing time, the days of the week that it's closed. This uses simple calendar to do whether they're closed on holidays, when to refresh items, all that sort of thing. So I started dabbling with this a little bit. and see how it works out. But and then populating the items, pretty straightforward. I loaded them all in, this one manually, and it took not terrible long, and it was fine. Priced everything, that sort of thing. So we just have a baker. So will they come up here? Possibly. Will they not? Possibly. And then this side again, currently I'm up in the air with what I want to do with it. I think I might make it just the home of the baker, that sort of thing. Then we drop down here. We have Barthen's Provisions. So again, this is where they're bringing the wagon to. Here's Elmina Barthen. If we click on her, then she's got, several items for sale. Populated this with the general store roll table, using better roll tables. It worked great. And again, also set times open. Everything's priced. Good to go. Shouldn't have to mess with that anymore. I love that automation that is involved there. So I feel really good about where they're coming into town. So the next stop is going to be the town center, or town square. You've seen this map in my Shadow Dark series that I'm doing, because I use it over there. It's just easy. It's a good little town, and it works great, but it's actually really meant to be the town center of Phandalin. So I have started work over here, just working out the inn, getting patrons and commoners popped up in here. The sound comes with the Bailey Wiki stuff, so it's all good to go. And then I'm trying to take a creative twist with the notice board. You can see it says notice board right there. So as opposed to having NPC quest givers for everything, I thought, well, how about if we have an actual notice board? So if I click on this, you've seen me use this functionality in the Cypher game video where I'm switching between scenes. Well, in this case, I'm using the functionality to allow the players to read different notices, right? So we have Marauding Hill Giants, Bandits on the Tribor East, Undead at Old Owl Well, and Tamora's Blessing, right? So if they click on any one of these, it just gives them a little description of it. Sister Gareli of the Shrine of Luck is seeking those of courage and honor for a delicate matter. Any interested party can inquire with the good sister at the shrine. And that's it. Would you like to look at all the available jobs? So when they close that one, they have the chance to look at all of them again without continually clicking on the board. And this is monks, right? So we're just using monks to do this. Marauding Hill Giants. So this will be the same Hill Giants that they found the note for back in Cragmaw Hideout. So if you remember that from the previous video, which I'll link at the end, but it tells that there's a reward for it from the Town Master, and that's a pretty big one, 500 gold pieces. So that's going to be the higher end adventure that they can opt for. And Bandits East Tribor Trail. So this is straight out of the book, just like the other one with the shrine. And then finally we have the Undead at Old Owl Well, and again, this is straight out of the book with the person to talk to. And what I figured with this is if I can get them looking at this notice board as opposed to kind of randomly and aimlessly wandering around town, jumping maps and doing crazy things, this gives them maybe the opportunity as a group say, oh, hey, look, here's a notice board. Let's check out what's going on, and collectively go together and decide what they want to do based on the rewards. When you are done looking at all the jobs and you tell it no, you can click out of it and you're good to go. If we look at that tile and the triggers, like I said, just like before, it is it's a custom show dialogue. You can see here. So it's under the landing called initial. So when they first open it, it jumps to the landing initial. So landing initial, and then it'll show the dialogue with all those quest boards. And then it gets driven from there by the different quests. So the Hill Giants, the East Bandits, the Order of the Gauntlet, and Tamora. And all it does under each landing is shows that alert dialogue with the information. And then when they close it, the next thing it does is just ask them, do you want to go back to read them all? If they say yes, it goes back to the initial landing. If they say no, it just closes out the loop. So that's it. It works pretty good. I dig it. And it wasn't hard to put together at all. So that being said, next steps, we're going to figure out all the locations that are on that board, right? Where's the shrine? Where is the town master? Or, all these town masters actually in the square, but where are all these things? And then we will flesh those areas out first, and then we'll continue with the rest. So that is a longer process. Obviously, I'm not going to do it on a video like this because I'd probably bore you to death. I tend to hem and haw and go back and forth, but at any rate. So other cool things just to know in generally. I keep talking about how I use Bailey Wiki, and I'm a patron of Bailey Wiki, and I love their stuff. If you use Mass Edit, which I've talked about Mass Edit before, Bailey Wiki has recently acquired Mass Edit. I'm going to put that announcement video in the bottom because if you are also a patron of Bailey Wiki, it's a very exciting news, and it's a great way to deliver their content. Which you can see here, right? So if I want to go looking for things, I can go find things, and I can drag and drop these things right out onto the canvas, and man, we're going to be rolling. So map making is going to be very quick. So I look forward to doing a video of making a scene using those assets and dragging and dropping them out. But that's just something to know. I've added in some other interesting things. I look forward to trying out. I added in Ripper's epic rolls, which I look very much forward to checking out in game. Obviously I played with it, but I look forward to my players' reaction. And then I'm also going to do a little bit on a module called Boss Loot in the next video when we're kind of talking through the Redbrand Hideout at the end. I'd like to talk about a module I'm using called Boss Loot. I think you guys are going to like that a lot too. Anyway, very short video this week. It's been a very busy week for me with work, so apologies for that. I hope you guys look forward to what's coming. Make sure that you, any comments down below of things you'd like to see or questions you have or anything like that, cool to it. But be Phandelver this week, the second part of the Phandelver next week with the technical side of the world. And then after that, I believe we're going into Curse of Strahd. So it's going to be a pretty exciting next few weeks, all 5th edition heavy. And yeah, anyway, find this video useful, give me a thumbs up or give it a like, share it with somebody, whatever. And I will see you guys next week.